welcome to Pub Football. England got off to a flyer in the Euros. Well, sort of a flyer, results-wise. A win against Croatia, the supposed second, hardest team in the group, second best team in the group. A 1-0 win. Raheem Sterling with the winner in the second half. Gareth Southgate with some interesting team selections. We're going to look at it all right now for you over the next 15 or so minutes. My name's Miles. Jimmy is on one side of the screen. I think my left, once it's edited. So that's Jimmy. And I think you just pointed in the wrong direction as well, by the way.
I did, yeah. I didn't want to say anything now. I was like, oh.
Yeah, let's look at the game. Anyway, so it started off an hour before kickoff when we sort of looked at the lineup and went, Trippier at left back. Mings has been selected. I think they were the only two real major talking points, so to speak. Mings justified his selection. I still don't trust him going forward in a big game. And Trippier did all right. It just shows Gareth Southgate's trust in him, but I don't like him at left back.
Yeah, you're right. As you say, team selection came out. As you mentioned, Trippier at left back, when we got two very good left backs, was a brave choice. When you think someone like sort of Calvin Phillips starting was a big call, and also Sterling starting, who was completely out of form. But all of these guys...
I think Sterling and Phillips were predictable, though.
I think so, but you also... Yeah, Sterling, an out-of-form Sterling when you've got Grealish on the bench was a big call. But he did get everything right. Everyone came to the fore. And all in all, it was a very confident and comfortable performance, to be honest. Croatia didn't create anything, really.
Are you hoping it's the last we see of Trippier at left back, or do you think this is going to be a thing?
I think he'll change it up next game. I expect to see a left back. Even Grealish maybe come in. There will be changes. Henderson won't be too far away either, will he? So, yeah, no, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I didn't like Trippier at left back. Like, he was fine. He did fine. He wasn't exposed. He did some really nice throw-ins as well. But when it came to the overlap, he kept coming back in onto his right foot, and that's your problem. I don't like fullbacks playing on the wrong side, because especially now wingers are all inverted. So you have Sterling and Foden coming inside all the time. It's your fullbacks you need on the overlap to be able to get the balls in the box. And he wasn't doing that because he chopped. And it wasn't even like when Phil Neville played left back and he'd at least try and get it in with his left foot. Trippier wasn't using his left foot at all.
No, agreed. And I think we had the same thing with Ashley Young in the World Cup, didn't we? Who, again, wasn't a left back, forced to play that way and always coming inside. I think he's just one of the trusted men, really, isn't he? And he was just, let's shoehorn him in. He won't let us down. And he didn't, but he shouldn't start the next one for me.
No. Well, maybe at right back. Carl Walker didn't have
potentially. Potentially, yeah, we're short of right backs, aren't we? So, yeah.
Yeah, we're a bit iffy in that spot. Let's talk about Calvin Phillips, because you said it was I wouldn't say controversial pick. We expect him to be picked. I don't think either of us would have put him in our best 11, because before this game in international football, I hadn't been that impressed by him, to be honest. I felt like he looked just slight. I don't know if it was the wrong sort of player. I don't know if it was England's system, but it was almost like Southgate just went, go out there and just run around. And he was excellent. He covered every blade of grass. He got the assist for the goal. He looked superb. And I do think this might have been a coaching point, a tactical point, where instead of having them both sit so deep, he was almost just given some license, and it worked in his favour. And I mean, you can't really argue against that combination in midfield now. They're brilliant together.
No, agreed. I think when you first saw it, I'd say maybe uninspiring was a better word. It was someone who you thought, oh, okay, he's playing, fair enough. But I think the fact he presses like mad against an ageing midfield, against Modric, Brozovic, Kovacic. He got round them, and yeah, he played really, really well. Good assist, and all-round really good performance.
We have to talk about Grealish, because he didn't even make the pitch, which surprised me. Bringing on Rashford when we were 1-0 up instead of Grealish, not something I would have done, but I think they wanted. I guess Southgate expected Croatia to be coming out a bit more and wanted the pace in behind. But I don't know. There were the substitutions he made. I thought it was crying out for Grealish at some point.
Yeah, agreed. He always seems to go against the grain, Southgate, doesn't he? Everyone goes, "Oh, put him on. Got to put him on, surely." And he'll just put someone completely different on, won't he? And
there's something about Southgate and Grealish that he just doesn't. I feel like Southgate isn't convinced by him.
No, I feel like he's not one of his chosen men in a sense. He's not someone who I think he would go to when the heat is on. He'd go for an easier option as a Rashford. And I don't really like Rashford. He didn't really do a lot when he came on. I think Grealish might have even got us another goal, to be honest, when he came on. So who knows?
Also, Calvert-Lewin could feel a bit aggrieved that they brought on a central midfielder for Harry Kane when Kane came off. Kane didn't have the best game. He's still the best player to lead the line, and he missed the one chance that I thought he probably normally would have scored. But if I were Calvert-Lewin at that point, I would have been like, hold on a minute, really?
Yeah, no, agreed. As you say, Kane is the main man. He'll ease himself into the tournament. And to be honest, I'm not. It was a win, wasn't it? It doesn't matter what the performance was like. You grow into a tournament as games go on, and it was really important to win that game because Croatia are a good side, but they didn't turn up, and yeah, we took full advantage.
What did you think about? I don't want to be completely negative, but what did you think about Sancho and his name's complete Chilwell. Sancho and Chilwell being left out of the squad when we had two keepers on the bench? It was a bit odd.
Yeah, it was a bit odd. I think it proves the array of talent we finally have in a squad, which is amazing that you can leave a player or two players of that quality out completely. And does it mean they're going to come back in and potentially start in the next one? Who knows? I think Chilwell won't be far away. But I think Sancho might be more of a substitution type player coming on in the next one.
Do you think that part of the reason he picked two goalkeepers was because he doesn't want to necessarily definitively name a number two?
Potentially, yeah. To be fair, I thought Pickford did all right with what he had to do. Again, even someone like Mings did all right, which I was shocked with because when I saw the inclusion,
there was no brain explosion from Mings, which is surprising. Heavy tackles, but no brain explosion. Oh, dogs come to join in. That's all right.
No, there wasn't that moment, was there, where you just thought, oh my God, he's either going to clean him out or he's going to give away a really stupid penalty or just do something. But he behaved himself. Thought John Stones next to him just controlled it. Calmed it all down, really. And I thought it was a really, really strong performance.
Oh, this is fun. Right, so overall, good performance. What would you rate the performance out of 10, the full performance?
6 out of 10, good building block. We will build and we'll get better as the tournament goes on.
Absolutely. Starman?
I would actually give it to Calvin Phillips. I thought he had an absolute blinder and he fully warranted his starting position.
Man of the match and played like a player who wants to play in the big games, which if he plays like that, Henderson's going to, not just by being fit, get back in the side. Right, that was Pub Foot with Miles and Jimmy. We'll be back on Thursday to preview the big one, the derby, the home nations derby. Scotland today losing against the Czech Republic and looking all right. I mean, they attacked a bit, but they weren't great. There's only one thing left to say. Oh, actually, one thing we haven't talked about is Christian Eriksen. I think we should before we leave. Thank God he's all right. He's released a statement today to say he won't give up and he wants to understand what happened. It was a cardiac arrest on the pitch. It was awful to watch. And it was one of those moments that transcends football and where football fans do come together and you realise it is some of it, you realise it's football fans are a really nice community. But something that we don't want to see happen again anytime soon.
No, it was a really tough watch watching it live as well because he went down so innocuously. You kind of just thought, oh, what's happened there? And obviously, as time went on, you realise it was a really, really serious issue. And thankfully, he's on the mend, which is great to hear. And it proves that life is way more important than a game of football, doesn't it? So, I'm pleased he's all right.
Well, I am hoping it's pointed out as well because there's been a lot on CPR over the last few days, which is very good as well. But local football clubs, if there's a manager or an owner of a local football team, grassroots football team, Sunday league team that happens to be watching this, make sure you've got a I can't say the word. Make sure you've got a defibrillator.
I still don't think that was right, but I'll give you that.
Defibrillator. Make sure you've got one near the pitch that you can get to just in case. If this is going to happen to a super fit 29-year-old, it can definitely happen to the majority of Sunday league players. It can happen to anyone. Actually, it can happen to anyone. So on that note, we will be back on Thursday to preview the Scotland game. Well done, England. It's coming home. Cheers.
Come on, England.